new machine which is called three-phase induction motor. Okay. Now, I think you have already studied the three-phase supply, three-phase balance voltage, three-phase balance current, etc. in another part of this subject, isn't it? Have you studied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as a machine which we're going to study today is called three-phase induction motor, so obviously we need a balanced three-phase voltage for it. So let me write first three-phase induction, and this motor, three-phase induction motor, is the most popular motor all over the world, and in most of the industry, large industries, this motor is the obvious choice. Now, as I told you that what you need a three-phase balanced power supply. Now, if we want to apply that three-phase balanced voltage, so you need three windings, three coils. So that means first we need three coils or winding. Okay. Now then only we can apply our three-phase voltage. So that means we need balanced. Do you know what do you mean by balance? Balanced three-phase voltage. Do you know what is the significance of balanced this term? Any idea?
Yes, sir.
Follow. Follow. What do you mean by balanced?
Sir, in balanced system, the phase difference between voltage and current,
Hmm.
that means phase voltage and phase current, in every line it will be equal.
Okay. So, so that means the voltage magnitudes of the sinusoidal quantity and the angle between two consecutive phases. And what is that angle between two consecutive phases?
So 120 degree.
120 degree. So can you tell me what exactly that angle time angle difference between two consecutive phases, because we are using basically 50 hertz supply in most of the machines. Any idea of this time angle? Okay, so that is basically the for 50 hertz the frequency is 50 hertz. So okay, so what is the time period? Time period is 20 millisecond, and that angle difference is basically the time period divided by 3. That means 20 by 3 millisecond. Okay, so that means if we have one phase like this, suppose this is the red phase. Okay, the next phase will be, what will be that? Like this. And between these two peak, what is the angle and what is the time? Time is 20 by 3 millisecond. If I draw it in millisecond, this is the voltage. So this is the maximum amplitude, which should be equal for balanced supply, and this angle or this time is basically 20 millisecond for 50 hertz supply. Okay, so that means that is the significance of this. Okay, so another thing will be like this. It will be like this. So consecutive phases we have everywhere, we have 20 by 3 millisecond time angle difference. So this is called a balanced three-phase supply. I think you have studied in another part of this subject, which is taken by Professor Anita Dutt. Okay, so the next point that I want to uh, tell you that though we need three coils or three windings, but where these three coils or windings should be placed, that we should know. Okay, so for that I want to tell you, I think you have already studied uh, one rotating machine as a DC machine, and there you have seen that from a mechanical point of view, every machine should have two parts, two components. One should be static, which is called the stator, and another will be rotating for the rotating machine, obviously, because there are other machines as well. For rotating machines, one component will be static, that will be called stator, and another component will be rotating, that is called the rotor. So here also, for induction motor, for three-phase induction motor, also we have one static component which is called the stator, another rotating component which is called the rotor. But the coil which we have already pointed out, three coils or three windings, that will be there in the stator. Okay, so let me draw the stator. Suppose this is the stator. Now here we should have three coils or three windings. So how the windings should be placed on this periphery? Now suppose we have the red phase here like this. Have you understood the significance of this red phase? Okay, now suppose we have current through this winding is like this. Now can you tell me that if we provide the current through this coil, now some magnetic field will be generated. Now what will be the direction of that magnetic field? Anybody? Are you getting what I am asking? Suppose this is one coil. This is one coil side, another coil side is this. So this coil side is carrying cross current and this coil side is carrying dot current. So if that is the case, then a magnetic field will be generated
Sir,
because
for dot,
no,
sir, for dot current, it will be in anti.
no, it's only one coil. It's not separated one. This is only one coil. Suppose the coil is like this. Suppose the coil is like this. So here you are having the cross and here you are having the dot. That means the current is flowing like this.
Sir,
Yes.
is the like coil um, on the plane of the sheet or is it perpendicular to the sheet? Like the figure, it is on the plane of the sheet, but cross and dot means it's perpendicular to the sheet.
Okay, so it's perpendicular to the seed only. Let me first tell you the actual thing because it's not a 2D thing. So the thing is like this. There is a coil like this, and this part is this. So this is like this, and at the end it will be like this. So I have taken only a part of this. I think you have understood. Now the coil is going, the current is going like this through the coil, So therefore it is cross into the board and this is out of the board. Have you understood
Right
now?
side.
So let me erase all this. I think you have understood how the current is flowing through the coil. Actually, I have taken only the cross section of two conductors. Two conductors which is making only one coil. Now you just tell me in which direction the magnetic field will be generated.
So left
Sir,
side.
on the
Right.
left side. Left.
From right to left or left to right? That means from this point, from right to left or left to right? You have to use the your
To left.
Sir, from right to left. Right to left.
So right to left, because you have to use only your right hand cross screw rule to find out the direction of the magnetic field. So this will be the magnetic field generated by this particular coil. I may name it by A prime coil. Okay, so the magnetic field, yes.
Sir, I have a request. Can you please tell in brief what you have just told for these 10 minutes? Actually, I joined the class just now.
Okay, so today we'll discuss three-phase induction motor. Okay, and three-phase induction motor will need three coils or windings and three-phase balanced voltage. Now, what do you mean by three-phase voltage? That I discussed in brief because you have already studied in another part of this subject. So I have not discussed in detail. Only in brief, I have and I have shown the three-phase balanced voltage in this diagram. Then I have drawn a stator part of the three-phase induction motor. As you know, any rotating machine will have a stator and a rotor. So I have drawn only the stator part of the machine, and there I have drawn only one coil out of three coils. Okay, and I have assumed that this coil is made of only one turn and one conductor. Now I have taken a current through this conductor, through the coil or through the conductors. Okay, and I have asked that in which direction the magnetic field will be generated due to this current. Now this magnetic field direction can be found out by the right hand corkscrew rule. Okay, so by that already some has pointed out this direction of magnetic field, that is right to left. So these all we have discussed so far. Clear?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now the next coil I will place here. And this will be cross and this will be dot. Now, can you tell me that in which direction that will be generated, that field will be generated due to this particular coil, which is called B prime coil.
So 120-degree angle with FA towards the A.
So that means this way. So I have not mentioned any angle, but you have pointed out correctly, this would be 120-degree only. Okay. So this will be the magnetic field direction of B winding. Okay. And the next coil I will place here. And this will be cross. This will be dot. Okay. Now again you have to tell me that in which direction the field will be generated.
So toward A dash.
Is it so?
In fact, towards B, near to B and A dash.
Okay, so that should be always perpendicular to the line I am drawing by dotted line. Okay, so it will be in this direction. So that will be FC. Okay. Is it okay? So these are the placement
sir.
of those three coils I have mentioned. Okay, so I've already mentioned about the three coils. So these are the location of three coils. So in the three-phase induction motor, the coils should be placed like this only. Clear? Then you have to apply the three-phase voltage. So if we do that, then what we'll get? We'll get a interesting thing, and that is called a rotating magnetic field. Rotating magnetic field. Okay. Now, if we want to understand this more clearly, uh, we need some time for this type of discussion. But in brief, we can say that suppose we have a B phase winding, B phase winding, and sorry, A phase winding, and we have excited the A phase winding by some current. Then what type of field will be generated due to that? In obviously, in I'm asking the spatial distribution of that. As you have already seen in case of DC machine, the spatial distribution. So if I want to plot the flux distribution of the A phase winding, so what will be that? Okay, so again that will be like in case of DC machine you have like this flat top. Okay, and if you take the sinusoidal part of it, it will be like this. But remember that what is the difference between the DC machine and this particular machine? Now in DC machine, that the distribution that you have that is due to a constant current flowing through it. Okay, that is the DC current. Now here through A prime coil or B prime coil or C prime coil, the current which is flowing is not constant. It's not DC at all. It is alternating in nature. That means what? Now there our current was a constant. Suppose IDC. Okay, suppose that is a field current which is flowing in DC. But here, if we take the AA prime current, then it is not DC at all. This is a sinusoidal or called the alternating current. So if it is so, if the current is alternating current, okay, then can you tell me that though this was the distribution for constant current, so if I apply some sinusoidally varying current, what will be the distribution? Whether there will be change in this distribution? Are you getting? Just a minute. Okay, so can you tell me that what will be the change in this distribution? So have you understood this distribution at all? So whenever suppose I am flowing some current constant through this A and A prime. then what will be the distribution? Distribution will be, here we will have the North Pole and here we'll have the South Pole. So this is your, suppose this is your North Pole and this is your South Pole. So that will be fixed. So North Pole and South Pole will not change its position or its amplitude, isn't it? But if I provide alternating current through a prime conductor, whether this same nature will be there, or there will be any change? That I'm asking.
So there should be some change because of which the amplitude should be variable at every point.
Okay, now you see that you have already know that what do mean by this MMF. So MMF is number of turns. Suppose the number of turns is everywhere for all these coils A prime, B prime, C prime, or what the number of turns is constant, that is N. So N into IA prime. So that is the ampere turn. Okay, so that is the MMF. So that divided by this reluctance will give you the your flux, and divided by A will give you flux density, whatever. So all these parameters are basically constant. So that means this MMF will depend on this current. So if or the flux also, this is not MMF, this is, sorry. So this is your MMF, but the flux is NAA prime by reluctance. Okay. So this N or this N by R, all these are constant. Now that is the flux is depend directly on this A prime current. So if the current varies sinusoidally, how this field will vary? So after some time, for a different value of current, it will be like this. So that means the same North Pole, South Pole will be there, but their amplitude will be reduced for reduced current. Because if we plot the current, sinusoidal current, so current is like this. Now for this current, if you plotted the previous one for this current, the amplitude will be reduced, isn't it? So not same North Pole, South Pole will be there, but the amplitude will be reduced. At this value of current, so this is your IA prime current. For this value of current, so it will be flat. You will not have any North Pole or South Pole. For this value of current, what will happen? Instead of North Pole, you will have some South Pole. For this value of negative peak value of current, you will get the opposite one. So that means the maximum value of South Pole at that point and maximum North Pole value of North Pole at the South Pole point. So in this way, it will be oscillating. Okay, there's now North Pole and South Pole will be oscillating. This kind of standing wave that you will get if you apply sinusoidal current in a particular winding. So have you understood this? Okay. Now, so that means the F A, which we are saying that the field due to the A prime coil. So that is not only function of theta, because for only one current it is function of theta, but the current itself is a function of time. So that means we have to write, okay, so better to write here, not like this, A prime. Now this A prime itself is a function of time. So we have to write, so A, instead of A prime, we have to write sine omega t sine theta. Are you getting? So that means this FA is a function of theta and t, and that is Im. Obviously, there should be some number of turns, otherwise the dimension will not match. Okay. sine omega t. Here also number of turns sine theta. Okay, or you can also use some fm value instead of nim. So this will be the field if you apply a single phase supply, single phase alternating voltage or alternating current in a single winding. Are you getting? বুঝতে পারছো আমি কি বলছি? Any doubt? Hmm?
No, sir.
Okay. Now you just now tell me that if the same we apply for the B phase coil, what will be the field generated by B? That will also be a function of theta and t. And if we do the same for C, what will be the field for C?
Sir, if B should be Fm side omega t minus 120 sin theta.
Omega t minus 120 degree.
120
It will
multiplied
be
by
sin
sin theta.
theta minus 120 degree. Because if you see the B phase coil, which is getting a current which is lagged behind 120 degree, but that is also placed at a position that is lagged by 120 degree. So both the in case of time angle and this space angle, you will get minus 120 degree. Okay, are you getting? So here also the similar
Yes,
thing
sir.
you will get. So that is purposefully we have placed the B phase winding, B phase coil at a 120 degree shift, space shift. This is called the time phase angle. This is the space phase angle. Theta plus 120. And if we actually, if we want to find out what is the resultant magnetic field, so we have to consider the contribution of all the three phases. That means Fa plus Fb plus Fc. And if you do that, what you will get? You will get 3 by 2 Fm. I think it will come cos theta minus omega t. So you get that. And this is called the rotating magnetic field. Okay, so that means you have seen that this particular thing which we are getting from single phase winding, single phase supply and single winding, but if we try to draw the field distribution for rotating magnetic field, that means the resultant field. So if at one time instant this is the picture, in the next time instant the poles will be shifted. Like in one time instant, this is the north pole and this is the south pole. After some time, the pole will be shifted towards right. Then after some time, again the pole will be shifted like this. So that means it is a rotating in nature. Clear? So this is how we get the rotating field. I have a very interesting animation for that. I will show you that. Just a minute. Just a wait for some minute. Okay. Suppose the first one is the red phase. You see how the magnets only consider, don't see other figures, only look at the first figure, which is written phase A. So you see the phase A magnetic fields, how it is varying. So from cross to dot and dot to cross, that is due to the alternating current, how the magnetic field is varying. Okay, now look at the phase B. Here also you are getting same oscillating magnetic field, and how it is varying, you just see. The similar oscillation, but there is a shift of 120 degree. Obviously that is phase shift. In the C, phase C also you are getting. Now when you add all these three, the resultant you can see. Okay. Any question? Any question? So that means here the rotating magnetic field means the magnetic field will rotate in space. Okay, and how to find out the speed of this rotating magnetic field? That is the similar expression that we have in case of DC machine, that is F equals to Pn by 2, and this N here, the speed at which it will rotate, that is twice F by P, and that is if we, so N is the revolution per second, RPS. So capital N, which is expressed in RPM, revolution per minute, that will be 120 F by P. So this is how we can find out the speed at which the rotating magnetic field rotates. You don't have any question? Have you understood rotating magnetic field? So if you have understood, then you just tell me that this is one way, this is one way to produce a rotating magnetic field. Now you just tell me another way by which we can produce a rotating magnetic field. Easier way than this. Anyone? Follow? Are you all there in the meeting, in this class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm not getting any response. Now, for this type of rotating field, what we need 3 coils and 3 balanced current, you can say. Then we can get some rotating magnetic field. That means the North Pole and South Pole is rotating as if. Physically, the North Pole, South Pole is not rotating, but as if the North Pole and South Pole is rotating. If we take two poles. Now, what are the other what another possibility? What is another possibility by which we can get the same thing? That means the rotating magnetic field.
Sir, if we try to rotate the whole magnetic field, it will connect the magnet, these coils to the.
So easiest way, that is, we have, suppose we have a permanent magnet which is having fixed North Pole and fixed South Pole, and if we rotate it externally by some prime mover, then only we'll get the rotating magnetic field. আমাদের যদি একটা পার্মানেন্ট ম্যাগনেট থাকে হ্যাভিং এ ফিক্সড নর্থ পোল এন্ড ফিক্সড সাউথ পোল, সেটাকে যদি আমি রোটেট করি, then also we'll get the rotating magnetic field. তাই না? বুঝতে পেরেছো আমি কি বলছি? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I have a magnet like this. If I rotate this, then also the similar effect you will get. Or if you take some iron bar, and if we have some coil on it, by that if you can produce some fixed north pole and fixed south pole, and then if you rotate that, by that means this solution is for the electromagnets, and that electromagnet if you rotate, then also you will get the similar rotating magnetic field. But here we are not physically rotating anything, rather we are using some static windings, 3 static windings, and we are providing balanced 3-phase current through it. By that we can produce a rotating magnetic field. That is most interesting one. বুঝতে পেরেছো?
Yes, sir.
So in case of induction motor, we have this type of construction at the stator. Now inside you have the rotor. So rotor is also a cylindrical one like a stator. Stator is also cylindrical, as I have already shown. Rotor is also cylindrical, maintaining a fixed gap between the stator and rotor. So everywhere the gap will remain constant. So this is called the air gap. Are you getting? So here you will have the rotor. So everywhere this gap will be constant, and that is called the air gap. So this is your stator for induction motor, 3-phase induction motor, and inside you have the rotor. In between you have the air gap. Now this resultant field actually will be at the air gap. Okay, so at the air gap, if you measure the rotating, if you measure the field, then you will experience a rotating magnetic field over there. Okay, now the stator construction already I have described a little bit, but not exactly the schematic one. Now what is the structure of the rotor? Just a minute. Yes. So what we have in the rotor? So in the rotor we have, so suppose the rotor is cylindrical like this. Now here we have holes through the rotor, holes like this, and through these holes you have conductor like this. Now this conductor, in most of the machine, these conductors are made up of aluminium, not copper. So that is the difference from any other electrical motors. Here for induction motor, three-phase induction motor, we can use aluminium. We can also use copper, but in most of the cases, it uses aluminium. Okay, so that is the structure, and this rest of the thing is made up of iron. Clear? So that means these are to reduce the cost. To reduce the cost. Okay, so these are called the bar. Rotor bars. And remember, these rotor bars are not generally parallel to the axis. So that means if the axis is like this, now it is skewed. Skewed means there is some angle between this axis and the rotor bar. So that means it is slightly skewed. So there will be some angle. If this is the rotor bar, then this will be the axis. So there will be some angle. Purposefully, it is made like that. So that means you have several rotor bars throughout the cylindrical periphery. Now, that means all these bars have two ends, one this side, another that side. Now, these ends of the rotor bars then made short by two aluminium rings. By two aluminium rings, they made short. So here also you use some aluminium ring. At that side also we'll use some aluminium ring by which we will make short. Are you getting? So this type of structure we have for three-phase induction motor. In most of the three-phase induction motor, a small size three-phase induction motor. And if we only see the rotor bars and this shorting rings, these are called the end rings by which we make all the bars short. It's called the end rings. Two end rings are there to make all the bar short. Now, if we only see the rotor bars and these end rings, it is just like a cage. Okay, so therefore this type of construction is called the squirrel cage. And this type of induction motor, which is having this type of squirrel cage, is referred as squirrel cage induction motor. We have another construction, but this construction is more popular than the other one. So this is called SCIM and sometimes also referred as XQIM. Squirrel cage induction motor. Okay. So that means we don't have coils or windings here. Here we have either aluminium or copper bars. And at the end, the bars will be shorted by either aluminium or copper end rings. If the bars are made of copper, you have to use copper end rings. If the bars are made of aluminum, we have to use aluminum end rings. Okay, so this is one type of construction. Another type of construction is the rotor will be
So why
similar
the
to the
bars are
stator.
shorted?
Huh?
So
Bolo?
why the bars are
That
shorted
I will
inside?
discuss. That I will discuss. Now, in another construction,
Sir.
we have similar winding in the rotor also. Like in the stator, similar winding we'll have in the rotor. That means in the rotor, you will have three-phase winding like this. One phase is there, another phase is there, another phase is there. Okay, so this type of rotor having winding is called the wound rotor induction motor. Wound rotor induction motor. And to make this winding short, we use some slip ring. Slip rings are used for this type of wound rotor induction motor to bring the terminals, all these terminals out and make them short externally. So therefore, this type of machine is called wound rotor induction motor or slip ring induction motor. The thing the same wound rotor induction motor or slip ring induction motor. So these two are the possible construction for three-phase induction motor. So wound rotor induction motor and slip ring induction motor is more complicated and costly and therefore used for higher ratings. Okay. Now, why these are shorted, that I will discuss. Now, suppose there is a rotating magnetic field. That means the field is rotating. And you have the rotor here. Suppose you have the rotor bars. If you think of the rotor, the squirrel cage induction motor, you have the rotor bars. If this rotating magnetic field is rotating and if the rotor bars are static, then there will be a flux linkage in the rotor bar, which is both time varying and space varying in nature. Because FR, you know, FR is a time varying and space varying thing, as I have already discussed. Okay, so that means if we are sitting at this point, what you will see? You will see some magnetic flux is changing with time. Forget about the space varying. Suppose your pace is fixed. You are sitting at a particular point, like the black dot. Then what you will experience? You will experience only the time variation in magnetic field or magnetic flux. So if we experience time variation in magnetic flux, that means what? That means there will be some voltage induced according to the Faraday's law, isn't it? So that means some voltage will be induced there, isn't it? Because the flux is time varying. Clear though? Now this voltage will be induced in this rotor bar. Not only this rotor bar, on every rotor bar you will have some voltage induced, but obviously there will be some phase difference between these voltages because they are in different locations. They are in different phase angles. They are in different positions. Okay, but voltage will be induced in those rotor bars. But as these rotor bars are already shorted, either by end rings in case of squirrel cage induction motor or by some external means in wound rotor induction motor. So anyway, these rotor bars or rotor conductors should be shorted. As they are shorted, As soon as a very small voltage will be developed, will be induced in those rotor bars or rotor coils, huge current will be flowing because they are shorted already. So huge rotor current will be flowing. So that will give rise to a rotor current that is called I2. If we take E2, are you getting? So this I2 will be produced in that rotor bars or rotor coils. Now this I2,
Sir,
yes,
স্যার এই একটা বার একটা বারে একটা এন্ড তো একটা পয়েন্টে আছে, মিন্স ইট ইজ অ্যাট ওয়ান পয়েন্ট, অপোজিট এন্ডটা তো একটা মানে একটা ডেল্টা অ্যাঙ্গেল এটা সরে আছে। তো তো যখন ওই সাইন থিটা মাইনাস ওমেগা টি একটা পার্টিকুলার টাইমের জন্য এই এন্ডের দিকে যেই এফ আরটা হবে আর ওই এন্ডে এফ আরটা তো সেম হবে না, একটু হলেও চেঞ্জ হবে।
change
তো
হবে
সেটা
বলে
কোনো
current
এফেক্ট
flow.
করবে না এটাতে?
Current, that current will
হ্যাঁ
flow na. So that means suppose you have, if you have
হ্যাঁ স্যার, কারেন্ট ফ্লো, ওই কারেন্টের মধ্যে আর কোনো এফেক্ট হবে না এরকম?
কারেন্টের মধ্যে effect phase angle তৈরি হবে। Suppose there will be a different rotor loops and different rotor loops current. So loop current will be different. Okay, suppose this is one loop, this is another loop, this is another loop. Loops will be different and loop current will have different phase angle between them. দুটো করে, if we take two consecutive rotor bars, you can think of a loop. In one loop, one current will flow. In the next loop, different current will flow. Current magnitude may be same, but there will be a different phase angle. You can think of like this.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
Okay, now this current, when
Okay, sir.
will interact with this rotating flux already there. So rotating flux is already there. So this, when these two will interact, you will get a torque produced. That is the electromagnetic torque, the similar torque that we have in case of DC machine. So by interaction of this rotating flux and this current, you will have the torque produced, electromagnetic torque produced. Now the question is, the torque will be produced in which direction? Whether it will be in the direction of the rotating magnetic field itself or in the opposite direction. In which direction the torque would be produced? That should be answered, that should be understood very clearly. Okay. So everywhere when we are intending to find out any direction, we always take the help of Lenge's law. So remember this point. In case of this type of analysis, when we intended to find out the direction of any rotation or so, we just take the help of Lenge's law. And for applying the Lenge's law, first we have to find out the root cause of this torque. Then we can answer. Okay. Are you getting? আমি কি বলছি বুঝতে পারছো? If I want to find out the
Yes, sir.
direction of this torque, because torque will determine the direction of rotation of this rotor itself. এতক্ষণ আমি যেটা বলেছি যে রোটেটিং ম্যাগনেটিক ফিল্ডটা একটা দিকে রোটেট করছে, the rotating magnetic field or flux you cannot see, সেটা খালি চোখে দেখা যায় না, but the thing is in which direction the physical rotor will rotate. রোটার বলে যে জিনিসটা রয়েছে সেটা ঘুরবে কোন দিকে, whether it will rotate in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field or in the opposite direction of the rotating magnetic field, that you should answer. Okay, so সেটা, to find out that, you just think, suppose by some external means we are rotating the rotor is not rotating with this rotor, with this torque. Externally, we are rotating the rotor in the direction of the rotating magnetic field and at the same speed. Are you getting? আমি বাইরে কিছু একটা জিনিস দিয়ে রোটারটাকে ঘোরাচ্ছি কোন দিকে? In the same direction of the rotating magnetic field and at the same speed. একই দিকে ঘোরাচ্ছি এবং একই স্পিডে ঘোরাচ্ছি। Then if we sit at the same point here, what I will experience? Anyone? এবার যদি আমি নিজেকে ভাবি যে I am sitting on that black point, what I will experience? Because I am also rotating. Previously I was static, so therefore the voltage was induced in me, but now I am also rotating with the rotor. তো সেক্ষেত্রে কি হবে ভোল্টেজটা?
There will be no change in magnetic field.
There will be no change in magnetic field, correct? So there will be no change in magnetic field. Now what will be the voltage? Voltage will be 0. Now then if the voltage is 0, what about the current? Current will be 0. What about the torque? Torque will be 0. So everything will be 0. So that is what is the root cause of this torque? What is the root cause of this production of this torque?
The rotating magnetic field.
Huh? Not the rotating magnetic field.
Changing
Because
magnetic field.
here we have the rotating magnetic field. When I was rotating the rotor at the same speed, I have the rotating magnetic field, still the torque becomes 0. মানে rotating magnetic fieldটা শুধু কারণ হতে পারে না।
Sir, just to prevent the change of the magnetic
Changing
flux.
magnetic.
No.
মানে magnetic
The
flux
root
টাকে
cause
same
is the
রাখার
relative
জন্য।
speed between the rotor and the rotating magnetic field. If that becomes 0, so that if the relative speed becomes 0, you will have the torque 0. You will, if the rotor is static and the rotating magnetic field is rotating at a full speed, then you will get the maximum torque. If your rotor is rotating at some reduced speed, you will have some reduced torque, because the torque depends on the relative speed between the rotating magnetic field and the rotor. সেই জন্য যখন আমি ওই একই স্পিডে একই দিকে ঘোরাচ্ছিলাম, তার মানে হচ্ছে রিলেটিভ স্পিডটা 0 হয়ে গেছে। Two trains are moving parallelly at the same speed. Okay, so that means what you will see? You will see the static one. If the flux is a static one, so there will be no voltage induced. Okay, so that is the root cause. Root cause is the relative speed between the rotating magnetic field and the rotor. And how it can be minimized, how it can be reduced? If the rotor rotates in the same direction. Because if the rotor rotates in opposite direction, then the speed will be added up. If the rotor rotates in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field, then the speeds will be subtracted. The speed will be reduced, the root cause can be reduced. So this is how we can answer that question, that the rotor will rotate in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field. So that means the torque will be generated in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field, not in the opposite direction. Is that clear? So another point we can answer from this, that if somehow the speed of the rotor becomes equal to the rotating magnetic field, speed of the rotor, okay, becomes equal to the rotating magnetic field, that of the rotating magnetic field, then there will be 0 torque. Torque will be 0. So that should not be the case. So therefore, induction motor always run at some reduced speed compared to the rotating magnetic field. Now the speed of the rotating magnetic field we have already derived, that is 120 F by P. Okay, suppose the frequency is 50 Hertz and the number of pole is 4. Then what will be the value of Ns? Ns will be 1500 RPM, because capital N is used for RPM unit. So revolution per minute. So Ns will be 1500 RPM. Now the rotor speed, the actual speed of the rotor at any condition should be less than 1500. Okay, so the speed of the rotating magnetic field is called the synchronous speed. The speed of the rotating magnetic field is called the synchronous speed, which is determined by this formula. And induction motor will always rotate at some subsynchronous speed. That is the less than synchronous speed. Okay. And as the induction motor never rotates at synchronous speed, it is also called the asynchronous speed, asynchronous motor. It is also called the asynchronous motor because it never runs at a synchronous speed. Got it? কি বুঝতে পেরেছো? Any point?
যে কারেন্টে ইনডিউসড হচ্ছে রোটারে, ওটা কি রোটার বার্সে হচ্ছে না কন্ডাক্টিং ওয়্যারস গুলোতে হচ্ছে? আর কন্ডাক্টিং ওয়্যারস গুলো স্কিউ কেন থাকে?
Conducting wire to rotor bar. In case of squirrel cage induction motor, we don't have any wire, we have only bars. In case of wound rotor induction motor, we can have conductor or coils. তো I2 টা সবসময় কন্ডাক্টিং মানে রোটারের যে পার্টটাতে রয়েছে, আইদার মেবি কন্ডাক্টর অর কয়েল অর রোটার বার, সেখানে I2 টা তৈরি হচ্ছে। স্কিউ কেন থাকে তার skewed থাকে purposefully because it may actually sometimes we may have some harmonics related issue problems. To avoid that, we generally make the rotor bar skewed. There are some harmonics related problems. These problems sometimes called cogging and crawling. So that is not there in your syllabus. So for that, we generally make the rotor bar skewed. যদি কোনোদিন ফ্যানের মোটর দেখো, ফ্যান যেখানে রিপেয়ার করা হয়, দেখবে যে ফ্যানের this fan also the similar squirrel cage structure and the rotor bars are skewed there.
ওকে স্যার।
So I can discuss many things, but the time is limited. I will take only 2 more classes. So that is the thing. Otherwise, I don't have any problem to discuss all this. So have you understood this? How the rotating magnetic, how this rotor rotates in the same direction? And remember this formula. This formula is very important. As you have seen for 4 posts. Can you tell me that what is the maximum speed of this type of motor? In the suppose this 3-phase induction motor, if we have, what can be the maximum speed? Anybody?
Sir, in which frequency?
In 50 hertz. In 50 hertz.
Then
Suppose
for p equals to 2,
correct. For p equals to 2 only, we'll get the maximum speed, that is 3000 rpm. For 50 hertz supply for three-phase induction motor, it cannot be more than 3000 rpm. Okay, so that is the maximum speed. Now, if we can generate higher frequencies, though our supply frequencies are fixed at 50 hertz, but now by using the advanced technologies of different types of inverters, we can produce any frequencies. Okay, so we can also we can also generate higher frequencies from 50 hertz. Then we can get higher RPM. But in most of the machine, that is the limitation. For induction motors or for synchronous motors or alternators, those are used in power plants. The speed is limited by this formula, 120 F by P. So this is very important formula. You can remember this. For European countries, the frequency becomes 50 hertz. And for aeroplanes, the frequency becomes 400 hertz. Generally, the frequencies are constant. Okay. Any question so far? So have you understood all this?
এক্সামে কোয়েশ্চেন
বলো এক্সামে এগুলো আছে, হ্যাঁ বলো কি বলছো?
স্যার না এক্সামে কি ধরনের কোয়েশ্চেন আসবে, মানে আমরা তো কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন বুঝতে পারছি না যে কি
আমি
টাইপের
তোমাদের
কোয়েশ্চেন আসবে,
প্রবলেম শিট
নিউমেরিক্যাল
পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছি।
থিওরিটিক্যাল
নিউমেরিক্যাল তো আসবেই, নিউমেরিক্যাল প্রবলেম তো পাঠিয়েছি তোমাদের আমি। I've sent you some numerical problems. তার মধ্যে যেগুলো তো অলরেডি we have discussed, those problems will be there. ওই রকমের প্রবলেম থাকবে, that is the pattern, and some theoretical question also will be there. If you have the previous year question, then you can get the idea of the theoretical question. But the numerical problems, I have already sent numerical problems on 2 chapters, single phase induction motor and DC machine. For 3-phase induction motor, I will also send you some question, some problem sheet.
স্যার থিওরিটিক্যাল কোশ্চেন কিরকম আসতে পারে?
Theoretical question তো যা খুশি আসতে পারে। Okay, some justification. So like induction motor rotates. In the induction motors, straight from a 50 hertz supply can rotate at suppose 3500 rpm. You have to justify it. Justify means whether this statement is correct or not. If this is wrong statement, then you have to write the correct statement and you have to justify that. Now, if I make a general statement that induction motor, 3-phase induction motor never runs at a 3500 rpm, you have to justify that. So this is a wrong statement, because as I mentioned that if the frequency is higher, then it can also rotate at 3500 rpm. Okay, so that you have to justify by some this formula. You have to prove that it can also run at 1500 rpm. So this type of justification problem may be there, or why the this rotating magnetic field and the rotor rotate at the same direction, explain. So this type of thing, this type of question you can expect as a theoretical question. I'm just giving some example. or if the theoretical question is a little bigger, then you just derive the expression of induced voltage in case of DC generators. Okay, so that expression ZA by A P pi N you have to derive.
আচ্ছা স্যার
হুম।
স্যার আপনি যে এক্ষুনি বলেন যে 3500 আরপিএম এর যে সিচুয়েশনটা মানে
হ্যাঁ।
ওইখানে যেটা আসছে মানে এফ বাই পি 175/6 আসছে, তখন মানে আনসারে আমরা কি লিখবো?
If the frequency is like frequency, you
F
can take the
and
frequency like that. Then we can have the speed of 3500 RPM.
মানে ওই মাল্টিপেলে বাড়ালে দুটোকে একসাথে মাল্টিপেলে বাড়ালে তাহলে ওরকম একটা
Not only that, your answer should be that frequency should be more than that, because induction motor cannot be run at a synchronous speed. So that is the synchronous speed. For synchronous speed, my rotor speed take synchronous speed
আচ্ছা,
ধরে
হ্যাঁ,
তুমি
হ্যাঁ,
ওটাকে বার করছো না। So you have to write
হুম,
that
হুম।
frequency should be more than that frequency. That is the frequency with respect to the rotor speed. But the frequency, always this formula is related to the synchronous speed, not the rotor speed. This is not NS, NR. This is NS. That you should
আচ্ছা,
remember.
আচ্ছা, হুম।
এই ছোট ছোট জায়গাগুলো you should understand clearly. হ্যাঁ বলো আর কি বলছো?
স্যার অটো ট্রান্সফরমার বা রেগুলেশন অফ ট্রান্সফরমার্স
না, যেগুলো পড়ায়নি সেগুলো থাকবে না। যেগুলো আমি ক্লাসে ডিসকাস করিনি সেগুলো থাকবে না। সেই প্রবলেম শিটের ওই পার্টগুলো বাদ দিতে পারো।
ওকে স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, আর কিছু বলো। You will get some time to think for the semester exam. But first you have to understand the class, the theories, isn't it? And you should practice the numerical problems. সেগুলো আগে করতে হবে, সেইগুলো নিয়ে বেশি চিন্তা করো এই মুহূর্তে। Your basic understanding should be clear. তো কোথাও যদি বেসিক জায়গাতে প্রবলেম থাকে, বুঝতে প্রবলেম থাকে, বিকজ জেনারেলি প্রবলেম আমরা রিপিট করি না। নিউমেরিক্যাল প্রবলেম হোক বা কোয়েশ্চেন হোক প্রিভিয়াস ইয়ার থেকে রিপিট করি না, আমরা কনসেপচুয়াল কোশ্চেন করব। কনসেপ্টটা দেখবো তোমার ক্লিয়ার আছে কিনা। the question will not be complicated one. The question will be based on the fundamentals. Okay, বোঝা গেছে? So have you understood the difference between the squirrel cage and in this wound rotor? For wound rotor you will have three windings like the stator, and at the end you will have three slip rings. আগের দিন বলেছিলাম যে মানে এই যে wind, suppose this is the winding. Okay, now this winding will be connected to three different stators, three different slip rings. Okay, and from the slip rings you have to bring the terminal out. So suppose this is your A phase, this is your B phase, and this is your C phase. So that means this is your A brush or A slip ring, this is B brush, B slip ring, and this is C brush and C slip ring. So you have to bring this terminal out, and you can make it short outside, or you can short by some external resistance. You can also use some external resistance to make them short, and you can also vary that resistance. So that is the additional options for wound rotor induction motor or slip ring induction motor. Okay, so these three are the windings placed on the rotor. and the rotor terminals can be brought out by using slip ring and brush arrangement. Externally, you can short 3 windings, 3 coils by additional resistance, and that resistance will you can vary. By that variable resistance, you can control the speed. That is the additional feature for wound rotor or slip ring induction motor. There is the difference between the squirrel cage and wound rotor. Okay. Any question? তোমাদের বুঝতে যদি অসুবিধা হয় বলবে।
স্যার আগের ক্লাসের রেকর্ডিংটা দিলেও ভালো হয়, আমার আগের ক্লাসটা
ঠিক আছে, আগের ক্লাসের এই ক্লাসের রেকর্ডিংটা আমি একসাথে পাঠিয়ে দেবো তোমাদের।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
Okay. Now, suppose at the end also, after finishing the syllabus, if you need some sort of doubt clearing session, that also can be organized. বোঝাতে কোনো রকম কম্প্রোমাইজ করা দরকার নেই।